I only love for my brother what I love for myself. Only Allah do I worship and asking for help every day. 5 times must I always pray. I am proud to be a Muslim now. Everyone say La
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Welcome back to another episode of Knowledge to Action. We've called this one Sweet Talk because last episode we spoke about an inviting face and sweet words, kind words. Wajhun taliq wa kalamun layyin. These are the two aspects of husn al-khuluq. Good akhlaq, good characteristics, good manners. In the counseling profession, you can call these counselor characteristics. They have a big part to do with building a relationship. And if there's no relationship between you and the person that you want to help, you ain't got nothing. Nothing's going to happen after that. Could you imagine not trusting the person that's helping you? Could you imagine you go there, you feel, I don't want to be here? Sometimes when we interact with our doctors, with our dentists, we get this cold feeling. Yeah, but I mean, I've got a dentist in Canada. Even though he's ripping holes in my teeth, he's got great akhlaq. I love visiting him. I hate the work, but I love visiting him. Same thing in Palestine. Love my dentist. He's a good friend of mine. So you can be in situations that are difficult, but the relationship changes everything. And so today we want to start off with this sweet talk. And if you've noticed, every single week when I start off with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, this is the first and most essential sweet talk. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, in whose hands is my life, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, greatest man who ever lived, best akhlaq, best everything, is swearing by Allah. And just stop for a moment. That's the knowledge. Think about it. His belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is 100% yaqeen. And he's swearing by Allah. That's serious, man. The Prophet of God is swearing by God. And he's saying, my life is in his hands. You will not enter paradise until you believe. And you will not believe till you love one another. Let's stop there for a second. Why not until you fear the leader? Or why not until you obey your parents? Or why not until you follow the rules? Because it's not about control. It's about change. Love changes things. Ever see a solid, hardcore guy? So firm, so rigid? Watch what happens when he has a baby girl. Watch what happens to his heart when he has a child. Some of you thought when he gets married. Nah, that's sometimes it doesn't work, unfortunately. But love changes things. So the Prophet said, you shall not enter paradise until you believe, and you shall not believe until you love one another. And then he gives the action item. Shall I not inform you of something? If you do it, you will love one another. I mean, just imagine you're sitting there, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is addressing you, speaking to you, saying, you want to know the one thing you can do, and you'll start on your journey towards entering paradise? See, we read this hadith very quickly. Imagine the suspense that the Sahaba are waiting. What is it? What is it that I can do, Ya Rasulullah? Let me know so I can do it now if I can. And he said, أَفْشُوا السَّلَامَ بَيْنَكُمْ. Promote peace amongst yourselves. Spread greetings. So when we start our program and we say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, may Allah's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. I'm hoping it's building a strong bond between me and you. Because without that bond, we've got nothing. What is it about Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh that is so powerful? What are we actually saying? What does salam mean? Peace. What does rahmah mean? Mercy. What does barakatuh mean? Blessings. Okay? Peace, mercy, and blessings. What is peace? Tell me something that you think is peaceful.
No war. No war.
No war. Okay. Isn't it interesting how we only define peace as the absence of war?
Yeah.
But in your own life, what is peaceful? Basir, can you share something with us?
As-salah.
As-salah. So you feel peace and contentness in prayer. Excellent. MashaAllah. You're on another level, brother.
Serenity?
Yeah, but what puts you in that state of serenity? Where's your favorite place to be?
I won't say the masjid because I was lying to you, but...
Thank you for your honesty.
Well, at home.
At home?
With the family.
With the family? Love that. Some people love the beach. The halal side of the beach. Some people love looking at the sky. Some people look at the sky and say, you know what? This earth of ours keeps changing. But this is the same sky the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ looked upon. I've heard this from a great friend of mine as we were walking in Medina in the Prophet's mosque. What puts you at peace is what I'm asking Allah to give you more of. When I say Salamu alaikum, I'm saying everything that makes you happy, I want you to have more of it. And then I ask for Allah's mercy on you. What's an indicator of God's mercy?
Forgiveness?
Forgiveness. Is there anything we want other than forgiveness? In fact, none of us will enter paradise by our deeds. Whether you like it or not, you're not entering paradise by your deeds. You're only entering paradise by the mercy of Allah. So we better get right with Allah because we want that mercy. And if we don't have mercy on those on the earth, we will not get it by Allah. Now just stop and think about that for a second. You start abusing somebody. You hurt somebody. You insult somebody. You steal from somebody. Is that mercy? So you expect mercy from God? We got to be very, very, very careful. The stuff that we're talking about here is for our own selves, not necessarily for the other person. So yeah, you're going to be selfish when you have kalamul layyin, because you're receiving mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for being merciful to others. And so we ask for that mercy, you get that forgiveness from God, that you don't suffer, that you have no problems, that you have no difficulties, that you have no grief. That's mercy. So now we're asking you to be extremely happy in your life, and we're asking for no problems in your life. Wa barakatuhu. So you could be on a deserted island with enough water and food, with no problems, no stress. You can never do anything and make no mistakes. You have just total peace. But that's not what life's all about. Life's about working, getting things. So barakatuhu comes in. The third thing we're asking for is blessings. That you increase, you get a raise at your job. You get that job if you're struggling and you can't find a job to feed the family. We're asking for you to get that job and get more. And keep increasing you in wealth. Because we don't believe that wealth is limited. The wealth of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not limited. We believe that wealth, there's enough wealth to go around. Some people would rather you not have that wealth. Some people would rather you not have mercy. Some people would rather you not have peace. That person is somebody that we always avoid. But when it comes to you, our viewer, no. You got akhlaq. You got those characteristics, whether people see it or not. Whether you're having a bad day or not, you got that. Especially when you say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. May God's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. So the knowledge, we know what we're saying. But how does that lead to action? The next time you say Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to somebody, take a moment to reflect. Think about it. When they say that to you, you must respond equal or better. There's a huge difference between me coming up to you and saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and your response is, Alaikum salam. That's not wajhul taliq, man. You didn't give me what I gave you. You got to give me equal or better. And so inshallah, when we come after the break, we're going to talk about how to respond to people. So speaking is not just about you talking and saying the words. It's not a lecture. Speaking is one part of the dialogue. So if you want to say good things to people, you better keep those ears open. Because when they're speaking to you, what you respond next is an important piece. And after the break, we'll talk about responding skills. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
La ilaha illallah.
Next on Peace TV.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May God's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Has anything changed? Have you felt any change inside of you? Have you felt a motivation to want to be a better person? Because if so, then we're on the right page. You're on the right journey. And we're achieving some of our goals. Our next goal for today is, how do you speak to people? Because once again, it's not just what you say to them. Because you could say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and that's it. That's not enough. They're going to say, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, the relationship has begun. Afshu salama bainakum, right? Spread peace amongst yourselves. That's just initiating the relationship. And then what's going to happen? If I say salam, if I ask God for everything that you want, that you get, that's genuine respect for you and your goals in life, right? Then you respond the same thing, even probably in a better way. Okay, then what? I'm going to want to keep talking. But what happens when people start talking? How do we respond to what they say? Our next session is about listening. Because there's a difference between hearing, which is a physiological thing, and listening, which is a psychological, emotional, and even spiritual thing. Okay? But you're speaking to somebody, and they start talking to you about their problem. What do?
I think try to empathize with them.
Have some empathy. Okay, good. Yeah. So try to really understand what they're saying. But what if they're all over the place? Have you ever spoken to somebody and you had no clue what they were talking about? They just kept rambling. And sometimes we get frustrated And we say, hold on a second, stop breaking the pattern, right? Stop breaking the pattern. I can't follow you. How do you think they're going to feel? You feel like, okay, don't worry about it. Okay? What do? What responding skills do you have? They come up to you and they say, my life is terrible. What do you say to them?
Try to comfort them.
Try to comfort them. Okay? What else? Somebody comes up to you and says, my life is terrible.
Tell me your story.
Tell me your story. Yeah, what's going on? All right. Responding skills are going to come in a various formats. We'll talk about, you got to kind of receive it, reflect back. But the skill that I want to remind you is give yourself time to reflect. Take a moment. Think about what they're saying. Ask questions. You can ask, short reflections. Ask for more information. There's a lot of things that you can do, right? And I would advise everybody to Google it or find a source talking about responding skills, right? Probing, asking for more information, reflecting affect. You hear what they say, you reflect on the emotional level. If they say, well, I feel this, you stay in the feelings. But if they say, oh, I'm thinking this, you stay in thought. Don't confuse the two. These are communication skills altogether, right? And being genuine. Be real, man. Don't worry about it. If you're a person who has an inviting face and you're genuine, you truly want to help the person or you truly want to listen, it'll be natural. Trust me. You'll know when it's not natural. Actually, everybody will know when it's not natural, right? Because, like you said, we'll either not even respond, right? These are the do-nots of communication. When somebody comes to you and says, my life is terrible, you just don't respond. Or, like you said, you ignore the response. You start a new topic. Yeah, well, you know what? Did you hear about the game? Try to change the topic. Or you invalidate the person. Meaning, you say, oh, no, you don't have a problem. Yeah, you see what's happening to the people here or there? Right away you jump, but the person's got a problem. The person's not ignoring other people's problems, but the person came to you for help. And you invalidate altogether. We do that a lot, Now, once again, when we hear the hadith that say, look to the people that have it worse off than you, you can remind people about that, but it's got to come at the right time, right? So when that man came to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and asked him and started saying, Ya Rasulullah, give me permission to do, a really bad deed. The Rasul ﷺ responded. He responded in a very, very appropriate manner. And I'm just keeping that generic because that's how the Prophet ﷺ did. He responded appropriately. He didn't invalidate the people and say, I don't want to talk to you. Or how dare you? You come, you got these shuyukh around you, you got the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, you're coming in saying, give me permission to do this. He responded appropriately. Responding skills are essential to kalamul layn, to sweet talk. Because people are expecting it. Or you give an egocentric interpretation. It's based on how you see the world. Well, you know what? Your problem is because you did this or that. And all of a sudden you start throwing that in, right? And which relates to that unauthentic advice, right? So you start giving advice, you have no clue what the guy's going through. And a lot of times, everyone's the expert except for the experts. In the West, we see this a lot, right? Canada, United States, England, whatever. You see everybody's an expert on Islam. All of a sudden you got people with a bachelor's degree in sociology talking about what the Muslim Ummah needs. And I'm not talking about Muslims here, okay? Because everybody, if you're a member of a group, yeah, you could talk about your group. I'm talking about people, pundits, I'm talking about people who provide their input. Now that's fine. Everybody has a right to speak. Everybody has a right to express themselves. Whatever you want to do, you say it. But you're not an authority. And the problem is the people that listen to this unauthentic advice. If you've got a psychological problem, if you're depressed, if you've got serious anxiety issues, if you've been diagnosed with a problem, try to seek out professional help. This program of ours is not a substitute. Seek professional help. Seek authentic advice. But also engage with people. Talk to people. But make sure and double sure that you're seeking that professional help. There's other do nots, right? Sorry, that was a little side thing because it's very serious. Parroting. Somebody says something, you just say the exact same thing over and over again, right? Now that's good initially. So if you come up to me and you say, I'm sad, I'll say, you feel sad. You still feel heard, right? It's got to improve. Or faking it. Just faking it. You know, people can see that, right? So, what if they disappoint you? Think about it for a second. What if people disappoint? Should you still speak to them kindly? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in the Battle of Uhud, remember the Battle of Uhud? We know what happened, right? I think most people know the story. If not, I suggest you read about it. The archers on the hill, what were they told? Don't come down. No matter what happens, don't come down. Long story short, they came down. Tragic loss. The battle converted from almost victory to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of Allah, being injured, tooth damaged, shrapnel in his cheek, in his head, shoulder wound. Imagine our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most peaceful guy in the world. You might think peaceful, but he's fighting a war. What do you think the other side was like? If a peaceful man has to fight, what do you think he went through? Best akhlaq, and now he's injured in this battle. What's important was what happened after. What happened after the Battle of Uhud? How did the Prophet deal with the very same people that disappointed him? Our answer is in the Quran. Inshallah, next episode, we will explain how the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam responded to people who disappointed him. I hope you'll have an opportunity this week to engage with another person, to smile more, to speak to people, to just listen. And next week we'll talk a little bit more about listening skills. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I only love for my brother what I love for myself. Only Allah do I worship and asking for help. Every day 5 times must I always pray. I am proud to be a Muslim now. Everyone say La ilaha